Welcome back. Welcome back. Okay, Shadrach, you were about to give an example about countries that have come out of the food security quagmire.
Yes. the Thailand here are providing almost 60% of the rice that comes into this country. We're bigger in land mass than Thailand. But it just takes one person. The wife of Roosevelt says the success of a man determines on his beauty of his dream. And then you cannot feature in a future that you can't picture. So the Thailand, Cambodia, small community in India. I think at first we were denying that Gari were not coming from India. But people see this place as a dumping ground. The rice that comes into these countries are 14 years old, expired rice. But these countries today have put in good policies, put their foot on the floor, and then said, listen, we must put up a sound agri policy that is tailored to the environment, to the citizens, and then to the nation as a whole. The research institutions and the research work that have been done in this country dine and wine with cobwebs and cockroaches in various research institutions and have no any bridge to bring them between the farmers and the research institutions. And at 21st century today, over 2 million Nigerians using telephones, and yet we were told that our farmers today, we know where they are, they have their own telephone, we can communicate to them. But technology is not, they're not in touch with recent technology. As I speak with you today, our grain farmers still use hands and legs to plant maize in Saminaka, in Yarakaswa, Pambegwa, in the north, where 25% of our grains comes from. I'm talking about maize as it is here. Abakaliki, as I speak with you, we have very few machines that had the capacity to destone rice. Our rice today would have been one of the best in the world. To us, the problem of Nigerian rice is only problem of destoning. And so you look at it as we come in here, we talk about this whole thing and all that there. It comes back to us that nothing directs a man's way of thinking like hunger, and it is here with us.
You have pointed it out now. We need technology, for our farmers to be able to bring out more yields. But you also talked about the issues in the Northeast, where farmers are in IDP centers, and we're looking towards government, trying to do something really about this, because we need peace. Peace is gradually returning. But now let's talk more about, the post-harvest loss. If we had, good storage system for our food crops, then some of the things that we face now, as you pointed out, because food is not really coming from that end in the Northeast as we used to have it. Now we have, hike in food prices. How can we ensure that we have the best in terms of food storage in Nigeria?
Well, just to take you there, I've seen everybody, I've seen all ministries, every government parastatals taking a visit to Brunu to visit our sisters and our young ones in the IDP camps. But I've not seen the people, the Ministry of Agric, Water Resources, going there to use seedlings, to use agricultural program to get people back into their communities where they've been displaced by Boko Haram. I expect that day-old chicks, male and female goats, the rams, those agricultural activities that the people are used to be used is resettling them back to the camp. But what do you see? You see we're taking Indomen and seized rice from customs to go and give to our IDP camps and seized granite oil. How do you able to get these people back to their footings? Our food basket centers of this country, you go there to give them fish without teaching them how to get back to themselves. That was, first of all, that was a very big mistake. And as I speak with you, the same mistakes are still being done. Now, one of the ways that would have been able to resettle these people back is for us to bring in agricultural and then let them do it, attach extension officers to them, bring in new herbicides, insecticides, knapsacks, and new seedlings being given to these people for them to get back. If we are going the way we are going back, in the next 6 years, we'll see might be feeding people in the IDP camps or still taking food to go and give to people. And that's one. Our silos. 87% of the silos across the countries are totally empty. There are no grains on them. So if there's any crisis today, or there's any crisis, there's any flood, we do not have anywhere, no reserve to cushion the demands in Nigeria. We don't. While our commodity exchange centers are in Maribon, commodity exchange, where they would have been doing certifications, they would have been doing selections and of grains, then we have failed to promote one community, one product. But enough of this whole blames and all that here. The very moment we first of all bring in technology to add to this, one, by us recognizing our various vegetational zones across the country, knowing the ones where onions can grow, which people have the capacity for rice. Brimabri is in Bayelsa. They can grow rice 3 times in a year, but there's nothing going on in the same place. Odi, Ikarewo, the same thing, Amasoma. Then you come to Kebi here, or you go to Nsukka, we have a community that can actually raise over $2 billion from us, only on chili pepper. Miango in Jos and in Nsukka pepper in Ubolafo, Opi or Harmony. You ask yourself, for my age, if I'm able to look at all this whole thing, we have a man who is twice my age in the Ministry of Agric. Do you not understand this? Didn't you understand what we're going through? Now, I listened to your program before we came into the studio. We are talking about the thing that depletes our forex. One of the major depletion of our forex today is excessive food import. You import rice, you import fish, you import even palm oil coming from Indonesia back to Nigeria. We import tomato paste. We bring in, when a full pot of rice is prepared, almost 70% of the ingredients in the pot of rice is imported. So this is the issue. It's come back to we having the right policy and taking the situation that we have serious, and we get out of it. But if we continue, they say when a man does the thing the same old way, you get the same old result. And this is the situation as it is.
Okay. Shadrach, thank you. We'll come back to you shortly. African farmer, he's mentioned some crops in the south, east, and the north. He's talked about chili pepper. About $2 billion can be gotten from chili pepper alone, and that's from 4 communities in the southeast and in the northern part of the country. You've done a lot of work in the southwest. So let's look at the food crops that are in the southwest that can help sustain, boost our economy.
Okay, well, we have corn, that's maize, cassava. We still do tomatoes. Mostly we're better with 3 crops. Those are the perennial crops like cocoa, cashew, rubber. But right now, you see, everything that grows in the north can grow in the southwest. Now, there are varieties that are not genetically modified, that just improved varieties. Onions grow in Shaki, onions grow in Iseyin, onions grow in Ibadan, in Lagos, in Ekiti. Carrots grow in Ekiti, even in Lagos, Epe, But the thing is, we've not embraced it on a commercial scale. So gone are the days when they say it could not grow here. Watermelon that most of us consume that comes from the north, they actually started by learning from Iseyin people through the BAT staffs in the 60s, 70s. So, all the things that grow in the north grow in the southwest. There may be some favorable climatic condition in the north, but everything grows well. So what cushions the price of tomatoes when it goes expensive is tomatoes coming from Oke-Ogun, that is within Oyo, Ogun State. That's what drops the price. But embarking on this project on a commercial scale, which is left to really the local government and the state government, creating that platform for people to embrace it. So you have virtually everything in the north, almost everything in the north does well in the southwest now.
So okay, Shadrach.
Okay, go ahead.
Shadrach, we have to go, but going forward, what do we do? Low-hanging fruits. Let's begin from the low-hanging fruits. What do we do?
First of all, we need to put in technology attach technology to agricultural production. The weight of an average hole used by the man in Ebonyi State weighs about 16 kg. By the time he uses it to pick up a soil, that gives you 20 to 21 kg. So if the man is 45 years and he farms for 3 years, he will look 60 or 65 because it's tedious. Productivity will be low, yet output will also be small. So we need to bring in technology. We need to bring in tractors. We need to bring in land preparatory equipment. Now, we should not take cash loans from those who are technologically advanced. We should begin to bring in these assembling plants here so that we can, our youth will also learn what it takes to couple them and also fix them. And until these find their way to the farm, they were nowhere in terms of being food secured. I want to leave at this point.
Well, going forward, we need the private sector to come into the value addition, not production, to set up factories, processing plants, haulage, in the local or rural communities as against starting a farm. Then most importantly, we need people like myself and Mr. Shedrack. I know him for some time. You know, we have data, we have experience. There are very few of us in the country to set up charities and, you know, go ahead with the information and the knowledge we have to ensuring that we leverage on that information to make things happen. Then the private sector will follow us. We need that more than what government will do. Technology, I'm a fan of start with what you have. With the price of dollar now, it's not going to be easy to bring those technologies. But the question is, what can we do with what we have? India really doesn't have electricity, yet they are using solar. So bottom line for me is that we need to champion causes that will get these things done, not governments. We only need to partner with the private sector.
Okay, thank you very much. Umar says, we have the farmers and food, but the market is unstructured. Shedrack, can you respond to that quickly as we go?
Yes. The market is totally unstructured because we do not have, at your opening speech, you talked about food safety. We don't have any agency that looks at the quality and the quality of the food that should come into the market. We don't have that. That's true. But these are the business opportunities from the private sector to look into. You know.
Thank you very much, Shedrack Madlion, a farmer, and African farmer Mogaji. Thank you both for sharing your thoughts with us.
You're welcome.
Wish you well even as we pursue Nigeria towards a secure security in the food area.
In the food area and food safety too, because we don't just want the food, we want
it should be safe
yes,
and healthy.
Yes.
That's another side of it.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. Sunrise will be back in a moment. Don't go away.